Importance of preventive eye checkup. Should you see an ophthalmologist only when there is an eye problem? Should you see an ophthalmologist only when your pair of glasses are broken or when the eye gives you pain or redness? The answer is no. You should also see an ophthalmologist on a preventive basis also. Why, and if not, what are the problems? The standard recommendations are at the time of birth, when the baby is still in the hospital, an eye checkup needs to be done. Many a times there are birth related defects in the eye. Sometimes the child may have neonatal conjunctivitis also, and hence it's important that an eye examination is done at birth. More so if the baby is born prematurely and is under ventilator requiring oxygen. In this condition, a very serious, if not treated early and if not detected early, condition called as retinopathy of prematurity may happen to the child. Both the parents and the entire family will be worried about the survival of the child. But if a proper attention is not given to the health of the eyes, the development of the eye may get affected and a condition called retinopathy of prematurity may happen. And hence, it's always mandatory to have an eye checkup on a preventive basis at birth, more so in those who are born prematurely. Next checkup is required before going to the school. These days children go to school by the age of 3 years. So any child between 2 to 3 years of age, one eye checkup is required to know about a condition called as refractive errors. That means the child may not be able to see either near or distance clearly if there is a refractive error. If you ask, is it common? Yes, it is common. Nearly 15% of the children may have refractive errors requiring usage of spectacles. If spectacle is not given at that age, the vision in that particular eye or in both the eyes may not develop, leading to a condition called as lazy eye. And also, depending on the degree of power, it will come in the way of overall development of the child. And hence, second preventive checkup, all of you please note, is at the age of 2 to 3 when the child goes to the school. Subsequently, every 2 years once an eye checkup is required, even if everything is found normal in these two earlier checkups. And in case the parents are wearing spectacles, or if the child is diagnosed to have refractive error or squint, more frequent eye checkups are required. Refractive error or the usage of glasses is a hereditary condition, and if parents or grandparents are using spectacles for their myopia or hyperopia, then there is more likelihood of the child getting refractive error. More out of fear of getting diagnosed to have refractive error, many parents do not bring their children. But the trend is changing these days. They are all educated. They want to have the problems diagnosed early. Thankfully, these days we see many parents bringing their children early. But when I am talking of preventive checkup, even if you feel your child is normal, have the child examined for refractive error. Squint, if at all it is diagnosed, that squint is the crossed eyes. Even if you suspect, you should have the eye checkup done for your children. Then at the age of 18, one eye checkup is definitely required. Subsequently, every 2 years once an eye checkup is required. Especially so if your occupation involves a lot of screen time or exposure to dust or exposure to bright lights, then eye checkup is a must. At the age of 40, one detailed eye examination is required even if you are feeling otherwise normal. At the age of 40, lot of physiological things, an age-related normal thing that happens in the eye will start coming up. Condition called as presbyopia, that is difficulty to see near print, and a possibility of a condition called as glaucoma, which is more common in 40 plus age group, needs to be examined and then only it could be found out. So some of the silent eye diseases can be diagnosed when you have a complete eye checkup. There is always a myth and confusion about an eye checkup, eye testing, spectacle checkup, and a detailed eye examination. There is also a lot of confusion between an ophthalmologist and an optometrist and the ocularist like this. An ophthalmologist is a doctor who has done his MBBS degree, and post that he would have done 2 to 3 years of post-graduation degree in ophthalmology, and post that he would have specialized. So he is a doctor who knows about the complete health of the eye. An optometrist, after plus 12, he would have done 2 to 3 years of course in diagnosing refractive errors and some other minor eye-related ailments. But he is not a doctor. Something similar would be a pharmacist and a physician. Like the difference you have between a pharmacist and a physician, you also have difference between optometrist and ophthalmologist. So you know when you meet your ophthalmologist, he is going to see you from as a doctor and from the complete health perspective, and he knows about the entire disease conditions of the eyes, and you are going to get more value for your visit. Not that I am demeaning optometrists, it's a limited role and one should know the difference. This is more so because many a times you see boards saying free eye checkup, free eye testing, and people think testing eyes for vision is equal to complete eye examination. Definitely not. Maybe 10% of your eye has been examined, 90% is still left out. Especially diseases like glaucoma and a cataract or a retinal problem, optic nerve problem, they are missed by optometrists as they are not trained in that. It's not their fault, it's not their domain. So it's, as a public, one should be completely aware of what they are getting from which professional. So at 40, you need to have a complete eye checkup, not just eye testing. And from 40 to 60, every 2 years once, a preventive eye checkup is needed. During this time, your ophthalmologist is going to check your eye pressures, refractive errors, the retinal conditions, any evidence of glaucoma, and the health of the lens, that's the cataract, and all these things will be checked in detail. It's important to know these things because some of the eye ailments are silent. If they are not diagnosed on time, then they can lead to serious irreversible blindness. When I am talking of serious irreversible blindness, I should use the word of glaucoma. Glaucoma is a condition of the optic nerve of the eye, wherein eye pressures can cause irreversible damage in the nerve of the eye. Many people are blind due to this because this is one of the silent illnesses. Unless you proactively approach a doctor and get yourself diagnosed and follow the medication strictly, one may lose eyesight. Many people are blind across the world due to glaucoma. We should fight against this. This is possible only when you go for preventive eye checkup. When you go for preventive eye checkup, when I ask a patient, he should say, I have come normally for my regular eye checkup. Not that I have broken my glasses, my eye is red, I am failing. These are all for treatments you have come, for a specific purpose you have come. But you should inculcate the habit of going to the doctor for preventive eye checkups. Following 60 years, the possibility of cataract increases, the possibility of age-related macular degeneration, that's another internal retinal eye problem, the probabilities will increase. So, but the preventive eye checkups can pick up these illnesses in the earliest stage and restore vision. The technology in ophthalmology has evolved a lot. There's a lot of information available about the eye care, But most importantly, all these things can be avoided only when people are knowledgeable with regard to that, and they give focus on the preventive eye checkups and preventive eye checkups with ophthalmologists.